Hello and welcome back to We Bought a Mic, a pop culture real boy cast.
A Pinocchio cast. Podcastio.
Talking Pinocchio versus Pinocchio versus Pinocchio.
Versus Pinocchio?
Not entirely sure why we're doing this. Well, I know why we're doing this, but in the grand scheme of things,
so
of all the things that we could be talking about.
This is the conversation that Americans everywhere, this is the conversation that people are having, they're afraid to talk about. They're afraid to say the quiet things loud, which is why Pinocchio has such a chokehold over all of us. How many times have you been out at a bar on a date with a girl and you're just like, God, you just ever think about that wooden boy who just wanted to be real? I do it constantly. I'm constantly going on dates with men and women, and I'm just always talking.
Multiple?
Sometimes.
But they have to be binary.
Welcome to the show. My name's Ernest. I'm Pinocchio.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see. My name is Hunter.
Also Pinocchio.
Hunter, Pinocchio.
And I'm skitty.
Tybalt.
I'm Drew. I only watched the Pauly Shore Pinocchio.
It's the only one you really need to see.
I figured
it's a true story.
It's a Pinocchio. It is the true story.
I figured that if I only watched one of these and it wasn't that one, then you guys would be mad at me.
Well, also, I mean, this movie's really important to you because this is like your comedy heroes are the reason for this existing. Like the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost is really for you, Pauly Shore, Jon Heder, and Tom Kenny.
I felt really bad for Jon Heder. And I guess the fact that Tom Kenny is doing it sort of lends some credence to the fact that Jon Heder would accept this check. The question is, why is there a check to be given? We can start with this one, right?
Hold on. We need to
talk about Pinocchio as a whole, a relationship to him.
No, we don't. Did
you guys grow up just reading? I read the story of Pinocchio every night before bed. I would squeal and say, I want to be a wooden boy if I wasn't read the story of Pinocchio every night before bed.
You didn't understand the point of Pinocchio. That boy does not want to be a wooden boy.
What do you mean?
So let's just lay out the groundwork here. The reason why we're doing this is because Hunter won the Fantasy Film League last year. I guess technically it was the 21-22 Fantasy Film League.
You can say last year. We're still in the current year.
So there was a lot of discussion behind the scenes as to whether or not Hunter was allowed to dictate multiple films as his winning pick. Because apparently you said that we've been stalling on multiple wins or something.
I've won multiple things.
There is no evidence for this.
I've won in the past that
polls?
we've had. Yeah, polls. Yeah. There's been plenty of things. There's been other little competitions that we have had that I've just been sitting on this.
But you don't get to.
I've been sitting out here. Listen, and your other option was watching 80 for Brady. So, by the way, I'm still holding that in my back pocket in case I make it come back this year.
I'm going to make you all watch it. That.
Well, you're going to have to.
I'm not going to watch it.
I'm going to fucking...
I'll move.
I'm going to Clockwork Orange your ass with 80 for Brady of just...
Ew.
Of the Tom Brady bobblehead saying, let's go.
So you were trying to say that I get to pick all 3 Pinocchio movies released in 2022 and you have to watch all of them.
Yeah, because I won polls. I won polls.
I said,
yeah, I've listened to albums.
You get to pick one. You get to pick one. So the canon one is the Pauly Shore one. But as a treat, we're also throwing in the Robert Zemeckis and the Guillermo del Toro and we're gonna do a Pinocchio versus Pinocchio versus Pinocchio.
Did you get a chance to watch the 2019 Pinocchio film?
Well, there's been a lot. Like, there's been so many.
It's almost like there's like so much meat on the bone of the story. Everyone is so unique. There's so much to say there.
This is gonna sound like needlessly contrarian, but fairy tales are bad stories. They're not good stories.
They're good for like books, like short
They're
little
good.
books.
Well, they're fables. They're meant to tell a story or tell like a
or teach a
cautionary
lesson.
tale.
They existed in a time in which it was hard to distribute stories in any form.
Yeah.
Like there weren't a lot of books that were like able to be printed, you know? So these just sort of by way of happenstance, they just like became the stories that got retold over and over and over to kids. They're not good. They're not good stories. They're awful. I have never ever liked a single thing about Pinocchio or the story of Pinocchio. I don't understand it. The only time I liked Pinocchio was in Shrek 2.
That's such a great Pinocchio.
I do have to ask, did you guys watch the Geppetto origin story? The film Geppetto from 2000 starring Drew Carey and Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
No.
It's a real movie that actually exists.
Why would you ask that in the form of a question?
There's so much meat on the bone here of this. There's Okio Pinocchio. There's Pinocchio 2, The Adventures of Pinocchio. Pinocchio and the Empire of the Night. Pinocchio in Outer Space.
No way.
Yo, Pinocchio in Outer Space.
I'm gonna like read you. I'm gonna read you some of these. And you have to tell me which one of these is fake. I'm gonna make up one. Okay.
They're all real.
Pinocchio's Christmas.
They're all real.
Pinocchio's Revenge. Pinocchio 3000.
No
that one's
way.
definitely real.
They're all three real.
What is Pinocchio 3000?
I don't know. I hope he's like a robot. Yeah, he is a robot.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It's basically
he's a
just
robot who wants to be a
it's
robot.
just
AI.
It's just Bicentennial
Yeah,
Man.
Well, that is
That's
Pinocchio.
also Pinocchio.
He's becoming a real boy. Then he fucking dies. He farts and dies.
So yeah.
Pinocchio and the Empire of the Night.
We
the
had this-
Emperor of the Night.
We had this discussion when talking about Peter Pan as well. Like these stories they hold no weight to me. There's a new children's mythology that exists in the form of things like fucking SpongeBob or like Shrek.
Fortnite events.
Yeah, exactly. The Mr. Beast skin in Fortnite. Mr. Beast himself, PewDiePie. There's
PewDiePie is my Pinocchio.
there is content that is made for the
I
children.
want to be a real influencer.
Like back then, children had to absorb the content that was given to them. Now there is content that has been focus grouped to be given to children. We don't need this anymore. It's just public access. It's just free to make something about Pinocchio.
Well,
So they keep doing it.
so we should start with the Pauly Shore Pinocchio.
Just
because
real quick, I do just want to throw out there. Do you guys like? When was the last time that you ever saw like the classic seminal Pinocchio?
I saw it once as a kid, and
So
I told
long
my
ago.
parents I didn't like it.
Was it scary to you as a kid? Were you like, am I going to turn into a big donkey if I don't listen to Mama?
Ew. I remember. I mean, yeah. I'm sure part of the reason I didn't like it is because of discomfort.
Hey, you just go and you see. Let me see. We're going to talk about in a bit the way that is portrayed in the Zemeckis one is things of nightmares. It is nightmare fuel. What you are seeing there, and not in the way that it's like intended to be.
So going back to what you were saying about it being just like almost this disposable fake shit. Pinocchio True Story feels like it feels like a fake movie. Like it's
is.
in the movie Chippendale Rescue Rangers. There's a recurring bit in that movie about how animated characters are being kidnapped and redrawn to star in like Eastern European knockoffs of their movies. And that's essentially what this movie is.
This movie is a Chippendale bit.
This like the version of the movie that we watched is a redub.
Yeah, because it's a
Russian film.
It's a Russian movie that ended up making overall box office has made a little over 600K.
Nice.
500 something K of that is in Russia.
Mhm.
For some reason, Australia and New Zealand popped off a little.
Okay, all right.
But it is a Russian movie. They obviously, this is a pretty low budget picture, so they did not have the means to change the mouths moving.
Yeah. No, despite the
so
fact that
off.
that's so like that costs nothing to do, to at least like in an animated feature somewhat line up the voices even just a little bit, but instead it almost you say it talking about the mouse moving. A lot of the lines also just sound like they went through Google Translate. Like they didn't even try to make them sound like English forming sentences.
Yeah, well, and a lot of it is I think pretty bad translation. B, even if it's good translation, they can't use like modern English parlance a lot of the time. They have to just use the amount of syllables that looks a little bit close to what their mouths are saying.
Mhm.
And the result is like an acid trip, like even if like I've heard Jon Heder do good voice acting before, but the problem is he like in the booth when all of these actors are recording, they are watching the completed movie. That's usually not the process. Like you're not usually watching your character's mouth move and trying to match that, but that's what they're doing with the lines that they are given. And so instead of trying to make the lines a little bit more concise, instead of trying to have comedic timing in your delivery, you are just a slave to what's already been made. And it colors the entire movie to me,
So this movie went a little viral with the famous reading of the line that Hunter opened the pod with. Father, when can I be on my own? I got the whole world to see.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
TikTok got taken by storm.
You have to sound bored by it. Like, Father.
So, Mr. Shore, Pauly, he is taking some liberties there with his delivery, with his performance.
Not my Pinocchio just simply doesn't sound that way.
He's definitely hashtag going for it in this film.
So I think Pauly Shore, it's really easy to point a finger at him here because his vocal performance is really bad. No one knows what that is.
So there is a point at like halfway through the movie, there's one specific moment where they're kind of standing outside of like a circus tent, and like Jon Heder and Pauly Shore are together, and you can almost hear them like laughing through lines. Where I think they reached a point about 45 minutes in where they're like, "What are we doing here, man?
So
we should have asked for more than this."
Before I watched this movie, I watched the Robert Zemeckis one, which was its own level of nightmare fuel. By the time I was watching this movie, I wanted to blow my brains out. And I had this movie on, but I could not actively engage with it without feeling like I wanted to die.
Don't worry, we'll go line by line as like a refresher for you for this. I took extensive notes on this movie.
I don't know why they made this movie. I don't want to know what level of like embezzlement or like money laundering exists in the production of this movie.
That this was like the proceeds for this went into like building one bomb to blow up Ukraine. I was really waiting for this to turn to like an anti-Ukrainian sentiment in here because it is Pinocchio, true story.
I genuinely think it was an issue of we can get streaming distribution if we just dub it for really, really cheap in English. If we book people that are names, whether or not even whether or not they have positive associations with their name, because Pauly Shore has very negative associations with his name. He is not famous for good reasons anymore. His 15 Minutes of Fame was in the 1990s. Mm-hmm. He is not someone that you would ever cast to play Pinocchio. It's not like, oh yeah, let's get Pauly.
He doesn't sound like a young boy.
He doesn't sound like he belongs in an animated world. That's why I was trying to say it's really easy to point a finger at him, but if he was actually trying, would it be better? No. Like, he's just not the guy. And this movie is bad. So
it's beyond bad.
No, yeah,
this crosses into another realm of bad.
It's sad because if you told me, oh, well, hey, they're doing an American redubbing of this really low budget Russian Pinocchio, I'd be like, oh, that's probably really good. Unfortunately.
So there was a point. I did reach a point like about 15 minutes into this. Probably less than that. Maybe it was 5 minutes into this. Actually, no, it was. I know exactly what it was. Is we open with our horse companion Tybalt.
Yeah,
Tybalt.
Tybalt. It is my horse.
Being a narrator and going like, you probably have heard stories of Pinocchio before about how he has a growing nose. You ever seen a guy with a growing nose before?
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. All right, that's definitely unrealistic. There's talking animals in this world, and Pinocchio is about to start doing backflips on horses.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Pinocchio's made of wood.
Yeah, that's
this
the
movie?
unrealistic part.
Yes.
I can't tell.
No, there's one close up on his face, and you're like, okay, I see some grain. So yeah,
he's definitely made of something. It's not human skin.
That was a really interesting choice, though, to say to the audience in like a Shakespearean, like the chorus style way, like, yeah, we're not going to do that dumb shit with the nose. That's like that's the main thing about him.
That's one thing you know about Pinocchio.
It's just like he's basically just saying like, yeah, they didn't write that into the plot. Like, there's not going to be any nose stuff because he doesn't lie in this movie.
But also, like,
he doesn't tell a lie anyway.
It's a true story.
Well, it's a true that is true. Like,
it's not a lie story.
The opening sequence of this movie would lead you to believe that this is almost going to be like the grounded real version. And we'll talk about it later on about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. But like, intro would almost be better for something like that. That's just like, this is real. Yeah. This is based in like wartime Italy. And not this. And I did reach a moment once we landed there, and Tom Kenny, God bless his heart, is out here just being like, Tybalt, you're probably the only talking horse that I know. And I was like, I've made a horrible mistake.
Yeah,
what have I done to us?
No shit.
I don't know how I got here, and I wish that I hadn't gotten here.
I felt bad for Jon Heder because it is truly like a sign of sundowning. Like, if you're Tom Kenny, he's not in the movie as much. I feel like it's like a day of his life. Like, it's a day, and it's like 5 figures,
Heder probably thought like, man, I'm back.
He has a very significant role in the movie.
He's the Jiminy character.
And
there is no Jiminy Cricket. It's Tybalt.
And
Tybalt.
His lines, it's so surreal because he's having to match the Russian version. He's having to match the time that it takes them to say shit in Russia, which is longer than it takes to say things here.
Right.
So a lot of the lines are unnecessarily like longer versions of just like a very simple sentence. And then B, he has to speak really slowly, and it removes any possibility that he could be funny, which he is. He's capable of being funny, but he's not allowed to be in this movie. He
talks drunk. He's a lot of
he
time.
Sounds like
it's really just kind of letting. It's like you got like peanut butter in your mouth.
It's like he's trying to communicate with like 3-year-olds, like how you would talk to a baby, where you're like, well, hello there, little guy. More accurately, he sounds like Xavier Renegade Angel in this. Like, he sounds like
life.
Yeah, he sounds like Vernon Chapman, where it's like there's no feasible reason to speak this way. Vernon Chapman is because it's weird and unsettling.
So going back to your kind of acid trip comparison, there's a very popular children's program called Coco Melon that feels like it is forged in the same flames of hell as this movie. It has this feel where it's like it's generated by a computer. It's like completely based in like an AI software where you just click like create program.
Yes.
Generate.
At least Coco Melon, though, has like it has the tendrils of like a baby sensory video in this.
Right.
This isn't good to look at. This is not pleasing
course
to the
not.
eye.
And Coco Melon is?
Well, for like if you can't form like full shapes in your eyes and use like bright colors, then sure. Yeah, I guess so. Why not?
So here's the issue, because just because of like how far technology has come over the last like 20, 25 years, like in a literal way, this movie does have a lot more detail to it than like even good animated movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s, just detail wise. Like it is objectively more detailed shot to shot than like Toy Story 1 or whatever. However, there's not any creativity involved with this movie, particularly in where they're placing and moving the virtual camera. Because the camera where we're watching things can be anywhere. It can move any way they want. It moves so linearly. It just follows whoever's talking in this really unnatural way. It takes you out of it so hard.
It kind of has video game camera.
Yeah, that's what it is, because they're not, you know, or even like there are like shots in like Shrek, for example, that like are coming from like the grass underneath them, watching them walk. Like they put the shit in a creative place. Also, there are more cuts because I guess, you know, I would assume that also comes down to like a time and budget thing. This movie just like doesn't have many cuts. Like as long as they can keep the camera in one place, they keep it there, you know? So it does. The whole time it has this rendering feel to it where you're like, oh, this is just like, I feel like we're insulting like these like Russian dudes who are like now like
Russian,
who are now like in the war.
Well, I don't know. Do you think like Putin
I don't think
directly?
I think this movie is like from the future. I think like the same technology that is made to create that like Seinfeld AI stream that got canceled for like homophobic jokes. Like that same technology, like 10 years from now, will create this movie.
You're expecting like Joe Rogan AI to pop up in this movie at
like
some point?
It doesn't feel like it was made by real humans. It feels like an AI making, like if you told an AI to make like a Pinocchio movie, this is like what it would make.
No, you said make a Pinocchio movie, but give it a twist.
Right.
Like, okay.
It's a true story.
Yeah. Oh, this is a true story.
And we're going to take out one of the more interesting things about Pinocchio. An interesting fact about Pinocchio.
There was a certain point in this movie where like I had to pause it, and it was only like 25 minutes in.
I had that so many times.
I was like,
movie.
I can't do it. And I ended up just like, I couldn't like actually watch this movie. Like it was on, but I couldn't like fixate on it. I had to like turn the volume down or like minimize the screen and like look at something else, or I couldn't like actively focus on it.
You were the like the Zoomer meme, like where you had Family Guy on your phone.
Literally.
You were like boring at Pinocchio.
No,
movie.
literally. Like I had to like play like Halo Infinite or something while I was watching this movie,
Temple
because
Run.
I was just like, if I literally sit down and watch this movie without any other thing going on, I think my brain is going to melt out of my ears, because it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole
Ernie,
fucking life.
I have good news for you. I don't know how to break the news to you, but I have taken over your Twitter and I've turned it into an every frame of Pinocchio a true story.
Jesus
I have a bot set up already, so every minute it's going to post another frame, and you can really look back and study the details here that are put in every frame.
Like just now I'm remembering like the people that follow him that are like goons.
Okay, no, they are
like, what the fuck?
No, so I'm
multiple groups of villains.
Yes, no. So first of all, I want to talk about there are these military guys that are like part of the Italian military that are hunting down Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Eventually,
it's very Guillermo del Toro-esque.
of course. Eventually, the military guys have an actual reason, because they think Pinocchio is like this criminal and he's using the circus to like steal money from people's houses, whatever. But originally, they just want to kill Pinocchio because they're like, who is this wooden fucking freak? We want to burn this child alive.
Father.
I would want to kill him too, to be perfectly honest.
The beginning of the movie is almost like the first scene in Inglourious Bastards.
Of the fairy.
It's actually exactly like that. It's like the same.
You know, they call me the Wooden Boy Hunter.
Could I get
You're
a
not-
glass of milk?
You're not harboring any wooden boys. It's just so the detective who is after him,
Mhm.
he doesn't belong behind a microphone. He's not a voice actor. I don't know who he is because he is not
So
credited on IMDb.
No, I've tried to look it up before.
He's straight up not credited.
I almost adding to the point that I think this was just made by robots. I think that they took the Russian voice actors and then put them through like an English modulator, and just it's not a real person. Like they aren't credited anywhere.
Well,
you
no, but
cannot find
the thing
record
is
of the English performers.
The thing is, English modulators, like, if they're making that, like, as a software person, you hire someone with a voice that just sounds like you want to hear it at least. Like, that guy just didn't have a voice. Like, his voice just sucked. It was awful. His line delivery just, like, it was like, oh, yeah, this isn't an actor. This is like a producer who realized
Inserted
that, yeah, they ran out of budget, and he was like, I'm going to have to do it. I could be the funny detective. And every line is so bad.
Can I tell you about my favorite voice actor in the entire thing?
Please.
It is the evil cat who goes
A lot of that.
who looks just horrifying.
Looks awful.
Every time that this beast smiles with sharp, jagged teeth, and then just blackness behind those teeth. There's just no end.
Yeah,
in
so
sight
there's
in that mouth.
a detective and his cronies are after Pinocchio, and then this evil circus cat and fox.
Well, yeah, the circus cat and the fox, who they both work under this what's the circus, the ringleader of this whole operation. And then they see Pinocchio. Well, first of all, they meet Pinocchio because Pinecone falls on Lady Horse's head. Lady Horse loses her fucking mind and says, I'm going to dead sprint off the nearest cliff.
Yeah.
A Pinecone hit me in the head. I'm going to kill us right now.
Horses are stupid.
Although that does lead to this being like there's like a goofy Pluto situation going on in this world where Tybalt's just like this fun companion. At one point, Pinocchio asks Tybalt to be his dad. But this one other lady horse.
Well, he is the dad. He keeps saying that throughout the movie. Like, oh, I guess I'm your dad.
I guess, well, because Pinocchio is just like, Tybalt, well, I'm so far away from Geppetto. Would you be my father
This is good.
on this journey?
This is good.
I've been really working on my Pinocchio.
That's a good one.
So I was just,
Tybalt.
I do love but talking about the lady horse, I like how you can tell it's a lady horse because she got yassified. She has like eyeliner and like blush.
She's nice with it.
Yeah. Honestly,
I was just on IMDb, and there's an actor by the name of Dmitry Iosyovov, who plays Modya Foko.
I have good news for you. That man is now considered a war criminal.
No, yeah, all of the Russian cast is credited in the same IMDb page as the American cast, so it's not that guy.
Well,
that guy's in the Russian version.
This person has an IMDb profile picture of them as a child with a big Pinocchio nose.
Yeah. So maybe he was born to play the part.
I think
the part of not Pinocchio.
Well, was he Pinocchio in the Russian version?
No, I think this is actually Pinocchio. Like, this is the true story. This is the real boy. He became a real boy. But
oh my god!
His nose stayed long.
This photo is horrifying.
I know. Have you seen this?
This photo is terrifying.
Oh, fuck!
That is the real story of Pinocchio.
Russia's like a nightmare, dude. I never ever want to go there.
Well, I have good news for you. You probably should.
Yeah, we
should stay away from there.
I probably won't end up there.
Yeah.
No,
by like happenstance.
I was gonna say that we're about to ship out.
I guess
our numbers
we should
in Russia
announce
are, like, off the charts.
that we are doing a tour right now, and it's just a tour of the Russian countryside.
What if genuinely like our numbers in Russia were just crazy and like they wanted us to go on tour there? We would have to do it. Like, and they offered us like a lot of money.
Right.
I've heard that like works out really well if you try and like sneak out like some hash from the country.
Yeah, I'm definitely sneaking in my edibles.
Yeah.
I have the best hiding spot.
I've heard that always works really well and they get you out there really efficiently.
We have on our rankings on this is not on YouTube, this is just on the podcast feed. We have Canada, the UK, and Australia.
Hey, our Australian brothers.
So those
sisters.
are where people are tuning in. Everything else is less than 1%.
Well, that doesn't mean nothing.
Should we talk
So
about
we
Bobby
go-
Z?
No. There's still so much more to say about this one.
Oh God!
I do want to say some
Dear
highlights.
Lord,
I love the little clown who's in the circus in this one, who's just always on a unicycle. My man is just always out here unicycling around. He's mostly in the background, and at one point, whenever he's just like, "Psst, hey kid, come over here. I know a way for you to find a fairy." I was like, this guy's evil as shit. There's no way this clown is normal. He's actually looking out for Pinocchio's best interest.
I was watching
And
it
he
like
is.
that's a normal ass clown.
And then you know that he's safe because he rubs the white off of his face.
I
God.
regret everything.
We have lost
We have strained.
we have lost the plot of this podcast.
I do want to say,
we've been doing Robin Williams movies for 3 years now.
do you guys like all,
that too.
did you guys like all the
18
meta
months.
jokes? I thought that those really landed well. I could name you Leonardo. No, because then you'd grow up as an actor
I
or an
know.
artist or a turtle who only loves to eat pizza.
Do you think that
that's
was
really
Do you
cool.
think that was in the Russian version?
Yes.
There are so many other movies out there.
I know. There
Is a world.
You really
out
tried to
there.
convince me, just like, what if we watch like a good thing that you like to watch? Maybe next time. Next time I'll have you guys watch a masterpiece like 80 for Brady.
Like I just watched Singing in the Rain for the first time the other day.
Do you know how bad I just want to do like Tom Hanks's like 10 best movies?
Oh,
That'll be
Castaway.
that's going to be great.
Oh my God, dude, Pinocchio.
We got to check that out.
What if I told you that in 2022, Tom Hanks was Geppetto in a Pinocchio movie?
I don't believe it. I don't think
It's
that's
cracking my
possible.
top 10.
And it was the worst piece of shit I've ever.
I know,
fucking
Okay.
seen.
but it's in the middle of the best Tom Hanks run.
Yeah, when Tom Hanks
of
is
all time. We have to cover
Yeah,
it.
a man called Otto,
Uh-huh.
dude.
Mhm.
The Post, this,
Elvis.
don't forget he is Colonel
Elvis.
Tom Sanders.
Tom Sanders.
One last note about Pinocchio, a true story. I cannot
Father.
tell you how.
What do you
funny
mean
it
one
is.
last note?
No, there's so many more notes. I have so many notes. One other thing, it's so funny about this movie is that he is a talking puppet. He is a wooden boy. And his shtick at the circus is like, this guy does backflips on horses. Why is that his thing? That he's in the circus?
Okay, wait. We need to talk about
Why is that?
the end of this movie where the fucking circus burns down.
Yeah, where our guy, I looked him up. His name is Magniafoco.
Mm-hmm.
Magniafoco turns out to be evil. Who would have thought?
That's the guy with the nose.
And they're robbing people while the circus is happening.
Which I have a lot of questions about like the semantics of what they're doing here.
I don't have any questions.
That they charge for the circus for people to come, and they're like, no, that's not enough. Instead, we're going to sneak off in the night and rob literally every single house in this town. So did they not ever go back to the same town twice?
No, it's a traveling circus.
But like
They
don't do like different tours
they're not
or something.
they're
there?
not they're I mean they can they have plausible deniability.
It's
They
not
can
like
be
Station 11 where they have the wheel.
the towns are not speaking to one another and like
I know, but like I
because
feel
this
like
is what like medieval Russia.
so how often?
No, this
so
is
then-
modern time.
Oh,
this is
how
just
often-
how Russia
okay,
looks like
okay.
right now.
So in that case, how often are these people getting their houses broken into and all of their shit stolen? Because if it only happens once a year whenever they go to the circus, I would eventually start questioning like, hey, maybe I shouldn't go to this circus.
Well, you're smarter than the average Italian.
Oh shit. Well, now we just lost all of our Italian listeners. So thanks, Drew.
It would be sick if we were huge in Italy. We
Dude,
probably have better
can we
odds because those people are so stupid.
Yeah,
I'm Italian. I can say that.
Can we do
Probably.
an Italian
I don't
tour?
know. I might be Italian.
Can we get the producers of the
Italy
pod to front,
Italy is in the
Italian
negative
tour?
in the less than 1% list.
It's
on
so
here.
It's not zero.
it's so off-putting every time because they say some Italian terminology in it. They'll be like, "Signora, how are you doing?" It's like, bitch, what?
I do have to say, like, so Bella.
There should
It's
be
kind of bad with it, right?
There should be a
Yes.
Martin Scorsese should make a Pinocchio, and they should do like a de-aged James Gandolfini as Geppetto.
like
hologram.
as,
deep fake.
as
Yeah.
Pinocchio, just like real DH.
No, Pinocchio should be
Should we do like a boyish?
Adam Driver.
He could be wooden at times.
I mean, if we're honest, Scorsese has kind of lost his fastball. We could just do like the new Scorsese, Todd Phillips.
He has fucking Roosevelt
says
coming.
the man who picked two fucking movies from Marty coming
Already
out this
giving
year.
up on Roosevelt.
Jesus Christ. I think
I'm
you have to
just saying,
sacrifice your pole position.
Todd
now.
Phillips is just like improved upon the model of Scorsese. You
Mhm.
know, he took what he is flying because Scorsese fucking like crawled backwards.
Yeah. Scorsese just pulled a fucking Gabriel and was just crawling out of the back of his head.
So-
and
AI, the Steven Spielberg movie AI is probably the best Pinocchio movie ever made. So
What about Blade Runner 2049?
That's
AI
not
is
bad.
AI is a better movie than Blade Runner 2049.
The
I'm
thing
sorry,
about
Ernest.
the thing about Blade Runner is like, well, Pinocchio has to be a boy. Pinocchio has to be a child. So even the Bicentennial Man comparison isn't like 100% there. It's a little bit more there because like Robin Williams has like the mind of a child.
Yeah,
he's a fucking idiot.
he's literally like a year old.
Yeah.
when they get him, he's 0.
Exactly. AI is like
Facts.
essentially just the same thing as Pinocchio, but I would love to see an updated Pinocchio movie.
Ernest, no, stop. No, what?
That is like so dark. Cause like that's the
Ernie.
best thing. That's the best thing about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah, so we got one. We don't
Is-
have to do this anymore.
Is when Pinocchio comes to life, it's like horrifying. It's like Geppetto is like so scared. He's like incredibly freaked out, and
Ernie,
he's grotesque.
You are the reason. You and your fucking Disney slop is the reason why we can't have original ideas in Hollywood.
But
is
imagine
your fault.
if like David Cronenberg made a Pinocchio movie.
Okay, all right, now I'm back in. I'm back in now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just the most disgusting
No, but
shit.
here's the thing.
nose
Also-
growing would just be like so
Okay.
gross.
I see. I do hear what you're saying there, but
I
the
think we should-
reality is that we aren't getting a master like David Cronenberg isn't making this movie. Instead, we're gonna get like Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. We're gonna get some of that shit where it's like
it's
Mm.
camp.
it's like
But it's, like,
ooh,
not.
it's slasher. We're gonna ruin the childhood thing that you love by making it
Yeah.
like cheap horror, and that sucks. That's like
Pinocchio, who
that's bad.
who like fucks a pretty lady with his nose.
That is like arguably
Oh,
just as
dude.
culturally bankrupt. I will say, for all the problems I had with Pinocchio: A True Story,
What kind of problems?
um,
Yeah, what
problems
are you-
could there
just some
possibly
pacing
be?
issues, really. I don't know, like Bella, I think was too fucking hot for Pinocchio.
Hey, she could get it. I get.
I see blue hair girl. I clap. I have no concept of how much 5 gold coins is. That was a big deal in this movie where Pinocchio does one show and Magnifico is just like, here's 5 gold coins. And you're like, wow, 5 gold coins. Is that a lot?
In Russia, that's the most money that
Well, that's-
anyone has.
So is Magnifico like kind of a good guy? Like he's just like, I'm giving you like some riches here. Is that like giving you like 40K a year whenever you are coming from unemployment, or what does that mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. So he does. The movie ends happy. Also, there's a funny little arc that no one asked for, where like Bella is the detective's daughter, which made me laugh so hard.
I love and like the world is on fire behind them. They're like, wait a second, your handkerchief is the same one as her handkerchief.
Yeah, and then the detective is like, "Wow, my daughter disappeared 5 years ago to the day. This whole time I thought I was trying to solve crimes, but the whole time I was trying to find my daughter. I have found her now."
Trash.
When Pinocchio turns into a real boy, fucking horrifying. The way that he looks, I thought that he looked bad as a
Was
as
this
a wooden
before or
doll.
after the fire?
This is during the fire, and then
Right.
immediately afterwards, his eyes get so soft in a way that's so off-putting, and
Because
just
he
made me so
survives the fire.
uncomfortable.
It's like you think he's going to catch on
Yeah,
fire.
because he turned
he's-
into a real because he loved.
So is wood more or less flammable than skin?
What kind of wood are we talking about here? Pine, cedar,
You
redwood.
got to ask Geppetto.
Yeah,
Did he go cheap?
he definitely went
He's
cheap
made
with
a, he's made a
He just-
particle board.
He went to Home Depot or like whatever the fucking communist Home Depot they have in Russia.
Communist Home Depot.
That's what it's called. It's called
our depot.
the communist.
Everyone's Home Depot.
Mother's Depot.
Oh, I keep forgetting this is not in Russia. This is in Italy. So this is like Mussolini's Home Depot.
Can I show you? Yeah. Okay, well, that's a whole other thing about. I love all of these non-Italians making Pinocchio that feel like very not Italian in any way, shape, or form, except for the Guillermo del Toro one is the closest to it. Yeah, Ernie, I don't know if you want to play this clip on like the audio for people, but I have to show you guys this one clip from Pinocchio, A True Story, because I put it on and just fucking cackle and keep putting it on for Gaia, and it's great.
You gotta give me the time.
I don't know. And I'm not so sure I want to find out.
Ah, stop being such a coward.
I'm not a coward. I'm just cautious.
Whoa.
I keep just going. I get right behind Guy. I go.
Okay. So here's the thing about this fucking movie. So it goes viral for that father thing, right? So you go into it thinking like, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. There's going to be so much father.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and it turns out that the movie is like maybe 20% line readings like that and 80% like just complete garbage, like the most like just useless garbage ever. So what I want is if someone out there can just do like a YouTube edit of just all of those Pauly Shoreisms in this movie, and then that's what needs to be preserved in the.
You know what somebody should
lexicon.
do? Somebody should take all the highlights and format it in a way that it actually perfectly aligns with the big song. Remember the song moment where they reveal the malicious plan by just being like, done. And then when you're here at the circus, they break into your homes and steal all your stuff.
So many other things that we could be doing.
Yeah, so many songs.
So many other life decisions that could have happened.
It has the like the modern kids show movie thing of like every second of the movie is scored. But the problem is it's all like digital orchestra score because it's very low budget. So it sounds like shit. It sounds like dog shit. Every time there's a song, it sounds like shit. It sounds like dog shit. I like there's no one to be mad at here except for ourselves because it's like I don't know. It's like taking a shit and then getting mad at the shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There was not the potential for something better here. This is exactly what it was supposed to be.
I did. Part of me did think because, like I said, I watched the Zemeckis one before this, and that is like an abhorrent just piece of garbage. Like that is as bad as you can possibly get. And
Then he dug a little deeper.
and then I thought, okay, what do I want to do here? Do I want to tempt fate and push myself further, or
That's your fault.
is there a chance
No.
that A True Story will be better in comparison because the Robert Zemeckis one was so bad? Turns out it was even worse.
Yeah, duh. It has to be. It's not made by Roberts. It's made by like Fyodor. It's made by.
Oh wait, hold on.
Don't you dare get this wrong. This credit wrong. Jordan.
Vasily Rovinskia.
Okay.
It's
Written and directed.
It's made entirely by someone who is not from here and then dubbed into a different language with different culture and different jokes and different time that it takes to say words. Like this movie is a guaranteed nightmare, and we just watched it. Like
I really wish I did kind of almost think at one certain point, like, should I try and throw on the original cut? Do we think the original cut is any better? If I would have watched the original first, could I like edit my ballot and like actually put this as like the best international feature of the year?
I wanted to, and then put dubs on it, you know, or put subs. Not dubs, subtitles, because dubs would just be. We just watched the dub.
Yeah, you're gonna make your own dub.
No, I wanted subs because I think a lot of the time they're not even talking about what they're talking about in the original, because it sounds like they're just they're like rehashing the same words from the last scene. Like every time that the cat and the fox will meet up with Pinocchio and just be like, Pinocchio, we still hate you.
There's a very handy dandy button on most streaming services called the mute button. And when you click that button, it all stops. Everything is silent, and you find peace in yourself.
But here's the thing. The reason why I didn't hit the mute button is because then it's the TV's silent, but your brain won't stop.
Yeah,
the noises.
Yeah,
well, that's when the temple run comes in.
It was better than these fucked up voices in my head.
Man, this movie's twisted.
The ideal way to watch this movie is on mute, in the corner, while you're doing something completely different on the other screen.
If you're a Russian child who's like, you know, living in like...
if you discovered this podcast because you got excited, you saw like Pinocchio, a true story, and you're like, oh, sweet, somebody's talking about my favorite film.
Yeah, if you're living in like a small town,
please write in.
In like a shack tenement type situation, and then and your dad gets home from work.
It took them like 3 weeks to download this off of Wi-Fi.
Your dad gets home from like the uranium factory, and he's like, I have brought you movie. My coworker's son made. He is very, very Hollywood man.
Listen, if you are listening to this from war-torn Kiev right now, just go ahead and just reach out. Just send an email to the pod to weboughtamike.net.
If Pinocchio is your favorite story ever,
it's just that would be the only way that this would be palatable. Like there's no American child who could like this.
There is one lesson to learn from this before, and it's that all cops are bastards unless that cop turns into a circus leader.
Yeah,
because he discovers his daughter is in circus, and then it's just like, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave the detective life behind. I've always had a passion for leading the circus.
Does he ever link up with Geppetto again?
No, remember, so there's one point, I don't know why I'm saying remember, like this is like a fond memory that we all shared together. No, at one point, Geppetto just appears and he's just around there and he's captured. We have no idea how he got there. He's like, the cat and fox are just like, yeah, we caught you, Pinocchio. And look, your dad's here too.
We got him.
Yeah. And he's like, Tom Kenny's like, oh shit, we're doing more of this? I thought I'd wrapped.
Anyway, that's the only one I watched. I'm gonna get out of here.
No, you gotta stick around for the rest, because here's the thing.
Wait, you gotta mention the fact that he's on the horse doing flips. That's how it ends. That's the big ending. He is on the horse doing flips, and this is the only Pinocchio that ends with him on a horse doing flips.
And that is true, and that's original idea. That's wow. I will never understand, why is that the thing? He is a talking puppet, and they're like, that's not interesting. A wooden boy isn't interesting. We've seen that before. I've never seen a man do backflips on a horse. That is cool.
How many
humans can do that? Why is that gotta be a puppet?
That we're being mean. How many
Jon Heder, come on the show.
How many schools for like film and more so animation are in Russia, do you think?
Probably 4.
Exactly. And frankly,
might be generous.
Now, we'd all hate to say it, but they were pumping out some fire back when it was the USSR.
That's what I'm saying.
They were making hits.
Animal Farm.
They got to get the gang back together. All those countries. I feel like they could just get along if I could just get in a room with them.
This is
if I could invade Ukraine and like force them to recreate the Soviet Union.
This is kind of like
for the cinema.
Guys, a backdoor sequel to Come and See, the Russian film about war, how war is hell. So as bad as Pinocchio True Story is, and as how masterful it is, I will say, I think that the Robert Zemeckis Pinocchio is somehow dramatically more culturally bankrupt than anything in Pinocchio.
Well, yeah, because it's a Hollywood, it's a major motion picture by like the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah,
it's made by the Walt Disney Company by a master. At one point in time,
an Academy Award winning director.
You know, there's something that I think about a lot. I think that it was Quentin Tarantino said this on like a podcast or an interview or something like that, where he said, if you are a true filmmaking master, you can never make something without artistic merit. If you are a genius at making movies, if you're somebody like Robert Zemeckis, then everything that you touch will have at least some kind of something to it that you can glom onto and say that was an
even if
incredible
people
choice.
don't get it, you
Right.
know,
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
gravitate towards it.
This movie, I want to burn and at maybe not a lower level, but in the same level as of hell as Pinocchio, A True Story. I think that this movie is kind of the thing where it's like the Disney Corporation will swallow us all whole. That we're going to actually get reboots of
it's the dark
reboots
flames of hell
of the reboots. And
yeah, have you seen the
nothing
trailer
original
for
will ever happen.
the new Little Mermaid? It's the same shit.
Yeah, it's a Little Mermaid.
It's soulless.
Because here's the thing: is that this was straight to Disney Plus, and probably because they saw a cut of this and said, "Dear Christ, we can't release this in theaters." If they would have released this in theaters, it would have made more money than Strange World. Which goes to show that we all deserve to die. We all deserve to rot in that same lower pits of hell where we can watch animated Pinocchio with live action Tom Hanks.
So I'm seeing this Pinocchio is identical to the cartoon.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Beat for beat.
Yeah. It's
Same
it's
exact
allowed
thing.
to be because it's by the same
So
people.
a couple things about it. Jiminy Cricket is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, giving an absolutely insane vocal performance.
I think it's arguably, out of all of the Pinocchios we're going to talk about, it might be the worst voice performance of any of them.
I don't know
do you
what
have
he's
this
doing.
in your bag, Hunter? Do you have this one?
What is he even doing?
Well, Pinocchio, here's the thing.
Yeah. It's around there.
Oh, Pinocchio. Oh, Pinocchio, what are you doing? Pinocchio, come on, you got to listen to your conscience.
Is that Don John?
Do you think this? I
love my girls. I love my cars. I love my conscience. I love my porn.
I love my Pinocchio.
I love my Pinocchio. I love my real boy. I love my cars. I love my porn.
Ew! Oh no!
I love my whales. I love my Geppetto. I love my porn.
I've always kind of thought that
Ew.
the JGL is full of shit, so I'm glad to hear this.
I just started laughing every time that I heard him speak. Because
mean-
he looks monstrous. Like, if you look him up, he looks
They try to make him look like a
terrifying.
real cricket.
He looks like a cricket. And guess what? When you have close-ups of a real cricket, it's fucking scary.
It's horrifying.
It's not what you want to see. He looks bad.
So this yeah. I mean, I had a similar thing with this movie where I kind of paused it around the 30-minute mark. This is a short movie. This is like a 90-minute movie.
He looks fucked up.
And I was like, I don't know if I can finish this. Like I had to really like split it into chunks because it was grating.
Well, you were also, I mean, you're in between like watching it and then you're on your phone on hit record like we all do every day.
Yeah.
Sitting in class.
That's the thing is JGL is busy running the biggest website in America, Hit Record.
On one screen I had Temple Run. On another screen I had Halo.
How much Temple Run have you been playing lately?
Another one I had.
This is not sponsored by Big Temple Run.
Subway Surfers.
What's that Legend of Zelda ripoff game? Totally blanking on
I don't
it.
know. And then you had the speech in Family Guy where Quagmire pops off on Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Playing addicting games.
Look,
Balloons.
I tried to give this movie a shot. I was a young man, you know, this was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, look, you know, the whole world is ahead of me.
Pre-Pinocchio.
Father, I put this on
Post-Pinocchio clarity.
I put this on the big TV in the living room. I was like, you know what? We're going Pinocchio mode. I made it about 15 minutes. And I was like, I
have to multitask.
I am
through
going
this
to
thing.
die. I'm going to pass away. Tom Hanks in this movie is just
So
indefensible.
yeah, no.
It's
So
the worst shit I've ever seen.
here's the thing: the very first scene where you see him in, it's like the putters and murmurs are putters and murmurs. Like what he's just like, oh.
I got my clocks.
No. It's more of like,
God, I'm so angry.
My clocks.
So
He is like whispering and like
a man comes into his clock shop and he's like, "Hey, Geppetto, can I buy a clock?" And he's like, "No, I don't sell
I've never
clocks
sold
here."
a clock. I haven't sold a
And
clock
he's
in
like,
40
"Oh,
years."
well, why do you have all these clocks? Why do you have a clock shop?" It's a different time for me. I can't. I'm not. That's not me anymore.
He's like Jackson, Maine.
You're so fucking ugly, clock.
And the clocks look like shit. They're all fucking ugly.
Yeah. Look, if you are a Disney adult, those clocks are kind of sloppy.
And look,
because it's all Disney stories.
The
That
best
sucks.
my
That
my favorite thing about the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio is that it portrays Geppetto as a broken, sad piece of shit that builds a wooden toy because he is destroyed by
He's like
grief.
blackout drunk and
Yes.
he's just like, I just fucking just want to have a boy, have
his
a child
son
right
his
here.
son died and he's been reduced to nothing, and he creates this wooden boy out of just pain and suffering and grief.
I'm seeing here that he sings a song.
He does. He sings a little ditty whenever a boy comes to life.
Wait, Tom Hanks or
Geppetto.
or GDT?
When
No.
And when he was
Zemeckis.
here with me, sung by
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
So
Yeah.
so this is what I'm getting to. So in the Bobby Z, they have the slightest little hint of like, oh, Geppetto is sad. And he sings this song, and like you get the tiniest little brief idea of like him making Pinocchio because of his loneliness and sadness. But the way it's done in this movie is so fucking half-assed and underbaked that it just pisses me off so much, because it's like every decision is just, it's nothing. It's just like they don't explore any idea. They don't do anything. Everything is pointless. Everything feels like this random thing that never goes anywhere.
This just kind of feels like just a fucking mess of different things. It has no cohesive thoughts in it, like down to like the characters, like what you're saying right now, plot threads, even down to the animation itself. The CGI is all fucking over the place in this movie. You have like Pinocchio, who is the most realized version of, we're just going to take the cartoon Pinocchio and just make him like real life. And then you have the CGI cat and the goldfish, which are fucking horrifying. They're like the super like the goldfish has like thick lips and is like got like some sway to her, and the cat is just really grotesque looking, this amorphous furry abomination that's just running around. It looks like shit in comparison to everything that's happening around it in these scenes. So there's no vision here whatsoever. And I don't know what Bobby Z is doing. I mean, I guess he's getting them checks, but my takeaway while watching this, I wrote down this idea, and I want to stream this by you guys, because it's actually something that I've been thinking of for a while, and I've been trying to like hone the take here.
I'm really excited.
I think that we should have the ability, if somebody just does like a really bad job at something like this, we get this kind of abomination, we should have the ability to take Oscars away. We should have the ability to say, like, Robert Zemeckis, I'm sorry, you got your Forrest Gump Oscar revoked away from you.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, for being in both as Colonel Tom Parker and fucking Geppetto and Pinocchio in the same year, you're losing your Philadelphia Best Actor. I'm sorry, that's it. Like, we're taking it out. And I don't even think we can stop here at movies. I think we should do it with everything. Russell Westbrook, you're getting your MVP taken away from you. You no longer deserve to have most valuable player ever assigned to you in the history because of how negative you are now.
Tom Brady. You're done.
Super Bowl is vacated.
No, Tom Brady can actually
Well, you only get 3 rings.
You have the ability to get
You don't get to
more.
fuck your son anymore.
No, you have the ability to get more if you like are just an affectionate parent that I've always aspired to have.
Now you have to fuck your wife.
I think that we should do this. I think that awards shouldn't be a thing that's like permanent forever. I think we should have the ability to take it away. Participation trophies, you don't participate anymore. No more trophy.
Wow. This is a weird it's weird because it's like a combination of cancel culture and anti-participation trophy.
It's the feeling it's the feeling you get when you watch this movie. Like watching this movie and seeing the performance that Tom Hanks is doing and the direction of Bobby Z, the feeling you get is a feeling of like there should be consequences.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. You can't get away with this. If this was like, this is the cinematic equivalent of like, performing just a horrible crime. And if that were to happen in real life, then there would be consequences. This is a felony. This is a felony offense here. And you'd be charged for 10 years for doing this in real life. So there has to be some kind of consequences.
This almost sort of works, like we can almost fold this in with like how all those Zoomers who are stans of Penn Badgley like almost want to reinstate the Hays Code, but like self-imposed, you know?
Yeah.
Because sex is icky and bad. This can just be folded into that. Like if you do something bad in your movie, you will be blacklisted from Hollywood and arrested for being a communist.
And to be fair, this isn't like just if you like have a swing and a miss, that's different. I think that like if you like really are trying to do something, you're trying to go for something. Like I disagree with this, but let's say like somebody watched House of Gucci last year and they're like, Jared Leto, that did not work. I'm sorry, we have to take it away. I would challenge that because I'd say at least he's fucking going for it. He's trying to do something.
That is an issue because if you were to just appoint a committee to do this, then for example, they could go after Babylon. Mm-hmm. And then where would that leave you, Hunter?
No, that's because there's so much creative oomph there. I think that if there's direction behind it, the reason why we need to specifically look at something like Pinocchio is because this is the most culturally bankrupt thing imaginable. And I think that we should punish everyone involved for this.
There's
Do you
nothing
think that
about
this is
it.
the reason why Iger came back? Do you think Iger saw this and was just like, I cannot stand behind this Chapek
No, let
rule?
me tell you, Iger came back because of Quantumania.
Let's go.
He saw that and was just like, Kevin, we got to reel it back in, buddy. This is not working.
Spread too thin, buddy.
Nobody cares about this
So,
anymore.
Kevin, you had a movie called Endgame, and that wasn't the end?
No.
Interesting.
You actually multiplied your output by like 3.
Hey,
I've always heard that
4.
like quantity over quality is what I've always heard.
that was my end. I haven't watched a single Marvel thing since then.
Good call. Good job by you.
You're doing great.
Time management.
Can I give my quick Ant-Man review,
please?
Since I did go to the press screening.
If you don't have like 45 minutes you want to save for a different time.
He does have to do this.
It's vying for the worst thing in the MCU. It's making me reevaluate my take on things like Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2. Those like the undisputed like bottom tier of Marvel, you know. Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. Like everyone always says like, oh yeah, like that was like the worst Marvel. This like it was so nothing. It was so like digital noise. My Letterboxd review was just gloopy. It was just goopy gloop. That's what it was. Because it's slop. That's what it is.
It's fucking
it's just
eating your slop.
Fucking slop.
Ernie, that's what Thor Love and Thunder was. Thor Love and Thunder is gloopy fucking nothing.
I at least laughed in the theater consistently during that movie. Like it was so stupid that it just made me laugh a lot because of how dumb it was. This movie takes itself so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what's got me like really like fucked in the head because it's like this is supposed to be the big setup for Phase 5, introducing Kang the Conqueror. Like we're using Ant-Man, the silly side movie.
Why
we're going to introduce Kang the Conqueror, the big next villain?
Yeah, we're like, we should trust Peyton Reed with this. Peyton Reed's definitely the steady hand that's able to kind of turn this and make this.
Let me tell you, some of the action in this movie is a disaster. It is a fucking disaster. You can't tell what's happening. It's awful. It's so bad.
It was so funny. I just recently rewatched Avatar: The Way of Water in IMAX 3D because I knew that this was coming out, and I was like, this is going to be my last chance because fucking this shit's going to take it from IMAX 3D. And it was so funny watching the trailer for Ant-Man Quantumania and then going to Pandora, and it was like, oh, maybe we should take time to make our movies instead of shitting out 4 a year and also 8 different TV shows that are all nothing and are all like episodic where you gotta tune into Loki season 2 if you want to see where Kang goes next. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I love Jonathan Majors. I love he's getting big money.
Let me say, I was on the ground floor of Jonathan Majors Island. I planted my flag there after Last Black Man San Francisco. I said, this guy in 5 to 7 years is going to be an Oscar winner.
He's going to be Kang.
I say he's going to be Kang.
He's giving Kang vibes in that movie.
He's a bit of a conqueror. Is the thing.
So what? He's in 4 or 5 movies this year because he's in this. He's in Creed 3,
baby.
He's in a Sundance movie, which actually where he plays a bodybuilder. What's it called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, we gotta see Creed 3.
I know, I'm hearing good things, and I'm surprised, to be honest.
Directed by Michael B. Jordan.
No disrespect to Michael B., but it can always go sideways.
Well, Creed
he was in Magazine Dreams. That's
not
what the
not great.
Called.
No. Okay.
It was fun. Creed 2 was fun.
Side tangent. What is the biggest drop off in quality from movie 1 to movie 2, and is it Creed?
Probably. Pinocchio to Pinocchio and the Big Gooey Strawberry.
I mean, this has to not be counting all the straight to video ones.
Yeah, because you can't go like Exorcist to Exorcist 2 or like Silence, like one
Aladdin
of those things.
to Aladdin 2. You know,
if you count all that,
every
obviously.
Disney movie. I don't know, man. It can't be Creed because Creed 2 isn't bad. It's just not good.
I think Creed 2 is fun. Like I saw it that one time in the theater. I was like, this isn't good, but like it's kind of like a dumb action movie, like a dumb bad action movie. But I had fun with it in the theater.
The first Creed is so good.
Dude, whenever
the first Creed's just like incredible.
Whenever he's in the desert and he's doing the desert montage, that's fun.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
Mexican Creed.
I don't know if you can say that.
El Creed.
El Querido.
You're doing like what is that voice?
Ernest said all of that.
Okay. Okay, Drew, no, you want to speak on that? You're doing like, my name is Jeff.
I don't
that's the voice that you're doing.
My name Creed.
I don't know. Well, also, I guess we're gonna find out if Michael B. Jordan can like direct movies.
Apparently,
David Sims loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
David Sims doesn't just hand out love.
David
praise.
Sims, he does. I mean, come on.
Does he
He's
like
not,
some
nothing.
things that are bad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. But
sure.
he has reasons for liking things.
I'm hopeful for it.
I will say, I don't think that for as much as they're hyping up this King shit, I don't think they've like figured out what they're doing.
That just can't be. I don't believe you.
Because like the character that he played in Loki is completely different than the character he's playing in this movie. Like they're for all intents and purposes 2 completely different characters. And it would make it logistically, it would make more sense to tie it to the events of Endgame for a time traveling villain to be a direct consequence of traveling through time. And they just don't do that. It's just some other fucking bullshit that doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, why is this the next thing? Like, it doesn't make sense.
What else do they? What else?
Here's
man?
the thing.
What else do they have?
Here's the thing.
They're all out of stuff.
They can. Quantumania can get ripped by critics, and people can shit on it, and rightfully so. And it doesn't matter. Because you know what? They're not going to stop these. They're not going to stop making these because it is estimated to make 95 million domestic and 255 million globally on its opening weekend. So,
No, I guarantee you it will not get there.
okay. It might not get to 250.
It has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It might not get to 250 globally, but it'll get to 150 on opening weekend. And then it'll still hit 250 million. And this is this is the same argument for why people always complain about the NBA and like how the regular season's too long. And they're right, it is. We need to like shrink it down like 10, 15 games. But it's never going to get lower because money. And you know what owners of NBA teams love is money. You know what studio executives love is money. And so as long as this keeps printing, as long as money is still green, they're just going to keep shitting these things out. What's going to happen is you're going to see less stuff go at Disney Plus because streaming, now studios have realized that streaming actually doesn't make you as much money as they originally thought was going to happen.
Listen, though, the only reason why Marvel is such a magnet of the health of the movie industry is because the movies have been consistently well liked. If we get to a point where they're consistently bad, that poisons everything. And that's why fucking Steven Spielberg went up to Tom Cruise at the Academy banquet the other night and told him that he saved theatrical movie going. Because obviously Top Gun Maverick didn't make that much money when you compare it to like all the Marvel shit still made a bunch of money. Fucking Avatar still made a bunch of money. Fucking Jurassic World Dominion still made a bunch of money.
Still made $1 billion.
But the reason why someone like Steven Spielberg will say something like that is because it's not just about the money. It's about what people like. It's about what actually like lingers in the conversation as something that people love.
Yeah.
And if Marvel loses that, like for all intents and purposes, they've lost that. Like they're on a bad streak.
Yeah.
And you can't keep saying that like they're going to keep making money and that they're going to keep the business afloat because they're not. I mean, maybe they will when it comes to just like the raw numbers, but I don't know. At a certain point, like if it's on a bad run and it stays on a bad run, the whole thing can fucking crumble.
I know. So you're right there. I just think I'm going to be interested to see what this does. And then maybe not Guardians. Cause I actually think Guardians 3 could just be like a blip on the radar of something good. Who knows? I'm not going to fucking count my chickens before they hatch as far as Guardians 3 goes. But I think that, and maybe this is just a cynical view of things, is that Disney wants to have what they had with Star Wars last year, where they had fucking Andor be their show that got all the ratings that people loved and everybody talked about it and how this is great for the business and everything else. But you know what was watched 5 times more than Andor was Obi-Wan Kenobi, because people like to clap when they see their old friends.
Right.
And at the end of the day, as long as people like to clap when they see their old friends, I don't think it really matters what the quality is.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Because I think you're right now. Like that's definitely the model they're basing it off right now. But when you start to see like, you know, Disney Plus reported a loss in subscriber numbers, you know, it's like if that type of thing starts to happen where it's like, oh, the movies keep getting worse reviews, the subscriber numbers keep going down. Like you can't, it's just at a certain point, there has to be a complete reevaluation of the whole thing. I
don't want to get into we've completely gone off the rails on Pinocchio.
That's Robert Zemeckis' Pinocchio 2022.
I mean, we're getting into more of an existential talk, but if I was going to make like a big prediction for this year, it's that this is like going to be a big year for like consolidation and stuff like that, because streamers are now reaching their point where they are realizing that like this is not a net positive product. We have to figure out we have to revamp our model in some way. Maybe it's going to be throwing in ads in there. Maybe it's going to be increasing prices. Maybe it's not
Maybe
just
it's making maybe it's making good quality
maybe
shit.
it's even something like Disney selling off Hulu to Comcast and saying like, Comcast, figure this out. You take Peacock is a shit show. Peacock is nothing right now. We're going to sell off some parts so that we can actually, we're going into a bear market right now with the writer's strike right around the corner in Hollywood. Like this is going to go into a bear market.
Who
here.
will write the next Pinocchio?
I have good news for you. Have you heard of Chat GPT?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they just have they have a hit new movie. It's called Pinocchio: True Story.
So
I'm hearing a lot of great things about it.
Should we get Chat GPT an IMDb profile?
I think ideally, like, I think the only thing that George Orwell got wrong about the future is that he didn't know about Pluto TV. I think instead of like I want the world to be essentially Ready Player One, except it's Pluto TV.
It's you instead of like jumping to like different classic movies, you jump from Pluto channel to Pluto channel.
Yes.
You're like, I just love to hang out in the Game Show Network channel.
I
want to go over to Bar Rescue channel for a little bit.
It's like the Fairly Odd Parents special Channel Chasers.
Oof. Classic.
Which really, I mean, just
quintessential
fuck my
piece of
shit up.
TV entertainment.
I mean, the thing that Spielberg got right about Ready Player One is the sadness that comes with a world obsessed with pop culture from like 60 years in the past, where there's nothing new, you know, like the fact that like it's like, oh, Michael Keaton is back as Batman. Oh my god.
I was genuinely shocked when someone told me that he's in that trailer.
Whenever we were at the Super Bowl party and I was like, is that Michael Keaton?
Like we have nothing new. We have nothing new. If the only new thing that we have is fucking Kang, you know, like that's the only new,
which is just it's from an existing piece of IP. It's from something that already exists.
I'll tell you what's new: the fucking Tulkun. The Metkaina, Payakan, our favorite warrior, space whale warrior, freedom fighter.
I'm sorry I fed into this. I feel like I fed the beast, and now I'm annoyed that the beast wants more meat.
So Guillermo del Toro also made one.
Well, also I don't know if you guys know this, but Eric Andre is Fox.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, Eric Andre was the Fox.
Hey, I will say
they had a really good Chris Pine joke in there of like, "What will we call you, Chris Pine?" Okay, because he's made of wood.
Really?
Yeah, that's a joke that's in this Zemeckis one. Doesn't that make you want to chuck your phone into the ocean?
So, I almost gave this movie 1 star on Letterboxd. I didn't. I gave it a half star because it made me want to puke into my eyeballs.
Did you give it a half a star because of the grotesque nature of Pinocchio's nose growing?
The reason why I wanted to give it a 1 star is because they go to Pleasure Island. And there's a moment
Pleasure Island looks kind of cool.
In Pleasure Island, I was like, you know what? I could kind of hang here.
Yeah,
there's
like a good time.
Yeah, like
it's fun.
There's a whole place where all you do is smash windows.
Yeah,
that's all you do.
You know, you smash cuckoo clocks.
Well, no, first you smash windows, then you smash cuckoo clocks.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's another place where like
it's a place where you like yell into the void. Like
yell into the void. There's like a slide. I don't know.
Yeah, you're just riding onto like you're riding in this little like flume ride, this log flume to hell.
Yeah. It's giving Polar Express.
Yeah. Honestly, that part looks good.
Yeah.
That's one of the only parts of the movie where like it looks like, oh, this is like a set.
I was like,
these are like real practical things that I'm seeing here.
Yeah. And then I had to look at fucking Pinocchio again and just think like, what is this thing doing here? I
will also the No Strings on Me performance, that looked kind of cool.
It was okay.
You know. No strings on me. God.
So much life lost.
Have you guys met someone in your life who likes Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Who?
You're looking right at
your
him.
mom or your sister.
Every time I look in the mirror, buddy.
Jen and Heather don't count.
Hey, this guy right here, he's got 2 thumbs and they're pointing at me.
So Pinocchio is not really something that you like. It's more just something that's around. Like
Yeah.
it's just around,
Is this-
and people are like,
Is
yeah,
this
you
the same
kinda
thing
like
as
this.
the Peter Pan thing? Is like who Peter Pan was not anybody's favorite.
No.
And from the lost episode of We Bought a Mic when we talked about
There
Hook,
hasn't been a child born in the last 40 years who has liked Pinocchio. I don't think so.
Well, Pinocchio, I mean, the whole story, especially like the whole Pleasure Island thing, is just like, hey, kid, don't be mean, or else you'll turn into an ass. You'll turn into a donkey.
That's the thing is
It's just like a warning to like kids to like behave.
Yeah, because it's based on something even older, and then the first movie came out in World War II. Like it's for teaching kids a lesson. It's you know what I mean? It's like it's a punishment to make your kid watch that fucking movie. So why are we making new ones? Because now we have the power of choice. We don't have to, like, the options available to kids now are awesome. Like you can watch YouTube videos that are secretly like coding you to get into like weird fetish porn or something. You know?
What, Pinocchio porn?
Yes.
So I think that when I was young, I watched a movie called The Adventures of Pinocchio, 1996.
Oh my God! Oh, this is a Pinocchio sequel.
It starred Martin Landau as Geppetto and Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Pinocchio.
King. Simba.
Is it live action?
It looks like it is live action with a puppet Pinocchio. I have a vague memory of this in my head. Can't say I like Pinocchio. Can't say I gravitated towards it. Definitely watched the Disney one a lot. It was definitely traumatized by the donkey.
A lot. Okay.
I mean, I watched all those old.
Yeah, because everyone had it on VHS.
I
but
did
it's
have it
not-
on VHS.
It is
yeah.
not good. It's not good.
So the scene where the donkey boy. Okay, so the donkeys in the new one are. It's very odd how, like, this is supposed to be a kids movie, and they're like, yeah, we're really gonna make you feel the pain
Dude,
of the boys being turned.
Yeah, no, it's like a Cronenberg sequence that you're seeing here in this of like first you see the smoke spirits. And at first I didn't remember what exactly happened with Pleasure Island because I hadn't seen this movie in like 25 years. I don't know, a long fucking time. So I just saw the smoke spirits, which look bad and are scary. And there's like stealing fucking donkeys and just like hurling them around. And then when you see our guy Lampy, little shithead Lampy.
The boy.
Yeah. Just being a little shit, just growing fucking ears.
I wish they would have
Hoofs.
shown more. I think they held back a little bit too much. I was like, give me the full transformation. Give me the full Cronenberg.
I still think that as scary as that is, seeing Pinocchio's nose grow was more terrifying for me. It looks like a red rocket. I don't want to say it, but the way that it grows, it's unsettling, and it just keeps going. It just gets
like that.
so long.
I think, that's what it would take for me to like him. When his nose grows, I think it should hurt him.
Yeah, it's like
he's like, oh fuck, and it should not come. It should not retract ever.
Yeah, it just keeps.
Well,
saying,
in the GDT Pinocchio, they have to like chop
You gotta
it off.
cut it. Yeah.
because it's wood. It's like a branch.
it
It's got
doesn't
little
it
leaves
doesn't
on
grow
it.
back.
So can we please
Turn
just
back
start
in.
talking about the third Pinocchio? now?
Well, one more thing, just about the whale. I did write in my notes that he's no Payakon.
Oh, not even close.
So
That he does have a big eyeball.
Looks
though.
like shit.
Is he? I know he's no Pycon, but is he Brendan Fraser?
a little close to that.
I think he actually gives a better performance.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Pinocchio is that it is all a metaphor for the Bible.
Sure. He did die. He does go up to Jesus and say, Papa, why did they like that wooden man and not me? That is a real thing.
Yeah, it's a
from
real
the
thing.
Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio.
What about, did you like in the Zemeckis Pinocchio when Pinocchio is crying and that's how he turns into a real boy? Is you see a real life
he doesn't
tear
turn
come
into
out
a real
of
boy.
his eye. Oh, you're right. He might.
It's left up to interpretation.
Cool. Because that was the thing that I was just like, every Pinocchio's got to have a fucking twist. And this twist is like, does he become a real boy?
Of all the-
Or is that so unrealistic if he becomes real
Yeah.
boy?
Also, are him and Geppetto just stranded?
Yeah, they're just somewhere.
They're like in
they're
the middle
somewhere in
of
like
nowhere.
the Pacific Ocean.
They just walk off. It's like, wait, you're like
Or I guess like what would that be? Like the
you just washed up
Adriatic Sea over
from
there? I
a
don't know.
whale into like
The
a
Mediterranean.
cave.
that's what I said.
You're just in a cave. And that's it? That's the end of the movie? All right. So Guillermo del Toro made the best Pinocchio movie of 2019. Good job. He did it. One of my
kind of-
favorite movies of the year.
Here's the thing. It's a good movie, and also just by default, he made the best Pinocchio
Right.
of the year.
Yeah, we didn't have to watch these to say that.
Yeah, no, I think we could just definitively made that statement.
3 people made a
Either way.
Pinocchio movie. Robert Zemeckis, fucking Fyodor Dostoevsky.
I gotta look at Vasily Rovinitsky.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro. Who made
Yeah.
the best one?
Well, this guy was also helping build Gus Fring's lab part time.
Okay, yeah, all right, there we
So
go.
he was. That's why it wasn't.
Yeah,
as
you know,
good.
it's a part-time job. How much effort do you really put into a part-time job when you're getting paid hourly? Like you're really gonna
yeah.
drag
It's
it
like
out?
your main job is to excavate a fucking meth lab.
Maybe he
underground.
was really like taking his
Facts.
time with it because he's like, as soon as I do this, like off to Kiev I go.
My speaking of, my roommates are currently watching through Breaking Bad. It is so hard to not just sit out there like all night.
because it's
Every
so
night,
good.
because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's
They did AMC randomly did a marathon the other day, and I just like didn't do anything
because
all
every
day.
genuinely, especially when it gets going, the show is really good at having a lot of plot.
Yeah.
Like a lot is happening in that
Right.
fucking show, even though it still feels like bare bones and small
Right.
Yeah.
as a story. Wow.
So Bryan Cranston's Geppetto and Jesse's Pinocchio, and they cook meth.
Okay.
That's a great Pinocchio. Geppetto and Pinocchio as meth cooks.
Pinocchio, we have to cook.
You're giving Blumhouse too many ideas.
So yeah, GDT, he knocked it out of the park. It's a beautiful movie. Lots
This movie
of
is-
themes and ideas.
It's really sad.
That's such like
I-
a base level expectation.
It's like saying, like, man, this kids movie, it really had a good message.
This movie had shots and like and like sound.
well, it's also
Sound.
it's also
actors.
a stop motion movie. So
Yeah.
it's like the most beautiful stop motion
It-
animation.
Mhm. This was low-key a great year for stop motion. None of which were in the previous 2 films that we talked, but the Window in the Wild, this, there's another big one that I'm blanking on. because
Mitchell's Machines.
that was
I'm guessing. I haven't
year
seen
before
it.
last.
That was like 2 years ago, and also not stop motion.
Not stop motion.
I don't keep up with these fucking weird movies like you do.
Hey, isn't there a Chicken Run sequel coming out this year?
There is a Chicken Run sequel coming out this year.
You know those
Love those guys.
those guys remember when they made Flushed Away and it looks so bad because it wasn't stop motion.
Right.
It looks like fucking ape, like so bad. Anyway,
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I loved it. It's really sad. Pinocchio is kind of scary, you know.
He is
Geppetto's
horrifying.
really-
I mean, it's great that Geppetto's reaction to him. So Geppetto makes him, and he just gets like pissed drunk in the middle of the night. First of all, we see his son die
Yeah.
in this.
No, it's
version.
like a huge chunk of the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like getting to know little what's the fucking dead
Oh, I
kid's
thought
name?
the 2 other big stop motion movies that came out this year were, of course, Marcel,
Oh,
the show with
Marcel.
shoes on.
Marcel.
and also Mad God,
Oh,
another
yeah.
stop motion film.
man, shut up.
Maybe
God.
Hey, bro, shut the fuck up, Hunter.
Drew, make a podcast about like, I don't know, fucking like flannel button ups or something like that. I don't know.
This isn't flannel. It's
I don't
twill.
know. Okay.
It's twill, guys. Listeners, it's twill.
Okay.
It's giving Joel vibes.
Which Joel?
from Last of Us.
Okay.
It's got a nice flannel.
You could have
You're
been.
gonna say Joel McHale.
It could have been They Came Together, Joel.
Oh yeah.
Cup of Joel.
Cup of Joel.
of Joe.
Wait, is that Ant-Man and the Wasp star? Wait, I need to say one more thing. I'm sorry.
Ant-Man Quantumania. You didn't even get the
Ant-Man
subheader
and
right.
the Wasp : Quantumania.
Wait, is the Wasp in there?
Paul Rudd is bad in this movie, guys. How do you do that? How do you,
Well,
it's
Paul Rudd.
That's a wake up call.
How do you manage? Like,
It shows. I think that Paul Rudd needs to be.
Get it?
I think Paul Rudd is. I love Paul Rudd. I'd say this with no disrespect to Paul Rudd whatsoever. I think that Paul Rudd is a person who you have to know how to use. I don't think he's
funny.
not. He's not fucking Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay, like yeah, you have to give
Daniel
him
Day-Lewis
lines
would
to say.
slay in the quantum realm.
Honestly, could you imagine Daniel Day-Lewis as Kang?
Like, what are you
He's
saying?
just like, hey.
What are you saying?
I'm saying like you can't just give Paul Rudd nothing. You have to at least let him cook.
I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp before seeing Quantumania. Paul Rudd is hilarious in that movie.
How many actors are there that you could give them bad lines in a bad movie and they would be good?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
What movie is bad and has bad lines and he made it good?
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you going to take a stand against?
Lincoln. I don't buy it.
Give me the blood.
I don't buy it. Give me the blood, Lord.
This is like a new like bar for actors. Is how would they do in the quantum realm?
Honestly, Nick Cage would kill it in the quantum realm.
He definitely would.
Nick Cage would do so. He'd be like, "Can I play every part? Can I be the Ant-Man and the Wasp?"
I think that Quantumania would be your least favorite movie of all time. The entire movie is in a realm.
Oh my god, is it different realms?
No, it's all it's infinite realms.
You're giving me like
it's subatomic realms.
You're giving me a weird migraine. Like my nose is starting to bleed. Just at the mere thought.
I can't. I could talk a lot about how pissed off this movie made me, but we should talk about Pinocchio.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I mentioned it earlier, but Pinocchio, nobody like ever talks about it, but like the classic idea of Pinocchio is set during like World War II, or not even World War II. It's set during like what, Civil War Italy? Isn't that like what the original Pinocchio is?
I believe
American Civil War Italy.
Yeah.
No, I believe
they were
it is
really
World War
broken up
II.
about it over there.
Is it
World War II?
It was published in 1881.
Yeah, no, I think that there was a war that was happening in Italy.
Oh, so there's like an
You could just
Italian.
guess that for any.
I don't know. There's probably like, I don't know, pre-communism. Maybe they were really broken up about like Napoleon's Italy, Napoleon's
I'm
France.
thinking
at the
that
time.
in this country in Europe in the 1800s, I'm thinking there was a war going on.
I don't know. Maybe they were like, I don't think things are going to go well for Austria.
Is
We
it
should prepare
Mussolini in the movie? The really long
No.
car?
I'm talking about like when the original story was set, and I think that they updated it to be.
So
World
Guillermo
War
took
II.
some liberties with the text.
I don't know if you can do that.
Wow.
Guillermo,
I'm Googling Italy 1881.
what's going on there? Can you give us like what was it like over there then?
Was there a little wooden boy running around?
How many
accounts
wooden boys
of
were there? I
It
don't.
was actually a huge problem.
Yeah, there's too many
They had to
wooden boys.
exterminate.
That was actually what the Civil War was about. Was they were like, we're being outnumbered 17-1 by wooden boys. We have to burn them down.
I'm not joking. There was nothing going on.
There's not a
There's a blank Wikipedia page.
Maybe it's
Oh my
because-
god, there is. It's all blank. Wait, no, they're trying to
I'm
they're
not
covering
joking.
it up.
they're trying to erase it.
Category 1881 in Italy.
Nothing.
Subcategories. There's nothing. There's one for establishments in Italy.
They're trying to
What
erase
about
the
like
truth.
What about like 1879? Because they were writing it then and then published in 1881.
It's true. The culture of 1879 is all over.
It's so crazy.
Pinocchio. I have to wake up so early.
Ewan McGregor plays Jiminy. Is his name Jiminy Cricket or just Mr.
I think
Cricket?
it's just Cricket. I don't think they ever say Jiminy at any point in this.
He
Just plays a little cricket. Yeah, he's awesome.
Low key, like one of the best parts of the movie. He nails it. He's
Wait, who is it?
Ewan McGregor.
Oh wow.
He's so good. Also, Tilda Swinton is in there.
Oh,
This is another thing that's genius about this adaptation of Pinocchio is the whole real boy thing is tied to this idea of Pinocchio is immortal. and he keeps dying and coming back to life because there's this spirit, the same spirit that gave him life brings him back to life. So he keeps dying and coming back to life, and Tilda Swinton is this spirit that he keeps returning to every time that he dies. Also, shout out to this little rabbit Funko Pop here. They're there too in the Bardo afterlife, in between worlds.
The Donnie Darko afterlife. Lydia Tarr's in there. Lydia Tarr is a great performance.
Wow.
Cate Blanchett does not have like actual lines in this movie. She makes like monkey noises.
That's cool.
Honestly,
Yeah.
We have to talk about the timing of this. Is that she did this after moving to Mongolia, so I don't think that she had like
She was it was a troubled time for Lydia. Yeah.
She had to just like send in voice recordings. That's all she could.
Christoph Waltz is the evil circus guy. Perfect role.
I will say, so the original song that's in here, Ciao Papa, fucking robbed at the Oscars. I have no idea how this did not get nominated for Best Original Song. I sing Ciao Papa. Hello, Papa. Ciao, Papa. I will call up my dad just singing this. He never answers. Not once.
You leave a voicemail.
If only I kind of feel like Pinocchio in this version of him, where Geppetto is just like, get the fuck away from me, you freak. You freaky little boy. You are not my son. Get out of my son's
Kill it with
bed.
fire.
I want to destroy you.
I think that if there's ever any movie that is like based on a fairy tale, I think that Christoph Waltz has a place in it. You know what I mean? He was like born to be in fairy tales.
He's a sneaky, like snivelly.
He's so
freak.
weird. He's so weird.
I mean, Bones and All is kind of like a fairy tale of sorts.
What?
He's definitely
Pinocchio.
not in Bones and All.
Oh, he's not.
Bitch,
No, I'm
what
thinking
the
of
fuck?
Mark Rylance.
I'm thinking of Mark Rylance, who also belongs in fairy tales. We've been podcasting for too long.
We actually haven't.
It feels like 1,000 years.
I
that I've been
know,
doing this.
because of fucking your choice to talk about these fucking movies.
They're in like 6 months. They're gonna play this back as part of a police investigation and be like, hear that in the background? That's the carbon monoxide alarm. It's they could have heard it.
All right, we don't have to keep going. We could stop right now. We're at a good stopping place.
Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio is actually good, and check that one out. I'm gonna check out the other ones too.
No, don't.
I think that you would.
They're awful.
Here's the thing. I think I'm a big proponent of foreign cinema.
How the thing
I'm a big
about
proponent of
shut
the
up.
big Disney Corporation.
The thing about a GDT Pinocchio is like a Pinocchio movie would have to be so good for me to want to watch.
It is actually. It's actually.
It's so good.
The animation's incredible. The take on the story feels fresh and original. It's like really sad. It like really leans into the sadness, and it shows you like how this broken man puts life into this wooden boy.
Where did it rank for you last year?
It was in my top 20.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like in that like 20 to 15 range.
That's like for you, that's like your top like 5%.
I know.
Of movies.
I really loved it. I mean, just the animation alone like made it worth it for me. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And then on top of that, you layer all the great voice casting, and then the fact that like the story feels really it feels like it's actually telling like a real story.
What is stopping it from being higher?
Better. It was a great movie year.
What's
I have it at 23 on my list, so I have it a little bit lower. I think my problems with it are the problems of it being a Pinocchio story. Is that it's different. They don't just do like the same exact like, there's a circus, but they don't just do like the same fucking thing where
he does go to like war training camp.
Yeah, he is gonna get like drafted into the military because they discover that he's an invincible soldier.
Yeah, he can die over and over.
Which that
like
part
Logan.
is.
Yeah, no, literally.
That part is actually kind of cool. How
the whale sequence is amazing.
That all looks really good.
Yeah.
It's worth your time. I'll say that much. Like I was like really just like happy that I saw it and that I sat down and I watched it just because it is like so expertly crafted. Also, you get to see Guillermo play with his monsters.
He loves his monsters. Also, Netflix bought me out with a sick box gift set.
So we actually are sponsored and we have to be able We have to say good
They
things.
sent me a Funko Pop.
I do have an artwork booklet that I've thumbed through and it looks beautiful.
You know
It's
what I
great.
think about a lot, because you guys have been receiving all this like FYC bullshit, pre-award season. I cannot believe that in the promo material for Glass Onion was a bacon strips type shirt.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. That is such a misfire.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I
the
did
hat
get-
I do wear all the
I did
time.
get hard
though.
kombucha though. Yeah, I was wearing the hat. today.
That's cool. I cannot believe they made that.
It
shirt.
is about 14 years too late.
Well, the epic Burger Time guy was a disruptor. What was his
He was a
name?
disruptor.
Epic mealtime.
Epic
Epic burger time.
All right. Shall we wrap it up?
Oh wait, no, I have some thoughts on Pinocchio.
Pinocchio strips
2019.
and Pinocchio strips and Pinocchio strips.
Jon Heder and Pauly Shore and
Yes. And Vilakin school.
yeah.
I want to do like remember the commercial or the trailer for the film Valentine's Day in like 2010
Yeah.
where it just kept having actors' names pop up in it. I want to do that, but it's for the entire cast of Pinocchio, a true story.
When are they going to make an annoying orange movie?
In the Marcel universe.
It's like sad and like
we should
existential.
make Jack's Films the movie.
Whoa.
I've heard that he's
Jack's
available.
Films.
We should make something like Potter Puppet Pals. We should take those characters and make it like a live action movie.
No, I don't think that'll work. I feel like it's gonna be you're proposing something that's gonna get us like canceled by our transgender audience.
Or like a video game where you can like be them. You can make your own Harry Potter puppet pals. Snape. Severus Snape.
Dumbledore.
Thank you all for listening.
Okay. All right.
Please rate, review, subscribe,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
and comment. Let us know your thoughts on Pinocchio. Let us know your thoughts on Pinocchio. And let us know your thoughts on Pinocchio.
A true
And
story.
what your thoughts are on delving into the quantum realm of our darkest nightmares, which is all the Pinocchios. I'm excited to do this. So whenever I win this year, what series should I do next? Should I do
You're
like all
not
the
gonna win.
Cinderellas?
Your wife was going to win.
We should do all the Cinderellas.
Also,
guys.
Drew,
I really want
Drew
you guys.
has second place right now. So you have to pass that.
I'm praying on Top Gun's downfall at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because I can win this.
That's evil.
I can win
That's
this
an
shit.
evil thing to
You're
say.
not allowed to say.
You aren't allowed to
We're
say
all
that.
gonna have to watch women talking.
I saw women talked. I supported them. I clapped.
Tune in for Robin Williams' return.
See, I
1 hour photo.
I drafted Women
That's
Talking
Smoochie.
because I thought that it was like a Chris Rock special from the 90s called Women Be Talking.
Thank you,
Okay.
donors, for donating. Become a donor at anchor.fm/WeBought a and visit WeBoughtAMic.net for the full archive. Thanks for listening. We love you. Bye.
Bye. I think you guys should watch. You guys should watch Kay Cannon's Cinderella.
Skitty, skitty.